Hey, what's up guys? Brad with Squared Away every day, and today we're going to be talking about why I'm selling my Tesla Model S Plaid, probably the coolest car you could be driving on the road currently as of 2022. And so why the heck am I getting rid of it? Well, I've got a few different reasons. I've got some lifestyle reasons, I've got some problems with the car that I'm not digging, and I've got some personal reasons that I'll talk about at the end of the video as well. So if you haven't had a chance yet, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and let's hop into it. Okay, so for starters, let's talk about my lifestyle and kind of how I use the Plaid and where I live and all that good stuff. So I live in Colorado, and that means 6 months out of the year, the weather is not ideal. We've got snow, we've got slush, we've got hail, we've got a lot of different weather conditions out here in Colorado. And so 6 months out of the year, the temperatures are cold and it's snowy. And so for me personally, this isn't my only vehicle. I've got better vehicles that are more well suited to drive in inclement weather. And so I'd rather mob around in those in the wintertime than drive my Plaid. Now the Plaid is an awesome vehicle. It's probably one of my favorite vehicles I've ever owned. But with that being said, it's not exactly practical for Colorado for a daily driver. That brings me into my next subject here. The Plaid is not a car that you want to keep for like a garage toy. It's just not. It's more so a car that you want to daily drive and really experience the speed and everything that car has to offer on a consistent daily basis. It's not like, you know, your Ferraris or your Lamborghinis or things like that where you can wait 6 months or 3 months or wherever you live, however long you have to wait for the weather to get nice again. You can wait and you're super excited about it and you're polishing that thing and waxing it in the wintertime. It's not like that with the Plaid. The Plaid is meant to be driven, and it's a car that's extremely fun as a daily driver. It's not so good for a garage toy or a garage queen. And so for me personally, that's kind of one of the conflicts I have with the Plaid, conflicting with my lifestyle to this point. And so really the Tesla Model S Plaid, or all the Teslas, really the way that I see them is they are terrific daily drivers, and I don't want to have this huge collection. I'm a car guy. I don't want to have this huge collection of Teslas. Yes, the Plaid is really cool, and the truck's coming out whenever that's going to be, and we've got the Model X and the Model Y and all these cool cars, but I don't want to own just this huge collection of Teslas. I do like Teslas. I'm a fan of Teslas, but I'm not a Tesla fanboy, if that makes sense. So me personally, I want 2 Teslas. I want one for my wife to daily drive in. I want one for myself to daily drive in. Go ahead and check out my video, top 5 selfish reasons to own a Tesla, and you'll see why I like them for daily drivers specifically and very selfishly. And that's kind of that. So personally speaking, it's a great daily driver, not so good for an actual garage queen sports car kind of thing. So how long am I going to have the car? When am I getting rid of the Tesla? And then we'll move on to what I don't like about the car and just this personal stuff that's going on with me. So I'm going to keep the car through summertime. I plan on keeping it exactly a year. I picked it up late September of 2021. I'll keep it till about September, maybe October of 2022. So I'll have it for an entire year, but I'm not going to get rid of it right now because we're just on the cusp of the weather getting nice in Colorado, and I want to be able to use this frickin' thing. So I want to take it to the track out to Bandimere. I want to take it out to like the actual tracks, not just a drag strip. And I want to drive the frickin' thing through summertime. So I'm going to have the car for a little while longer, maybe another 7-8 months, something like that. And then I'll be parting ways with it. And most likely I will be switching to a Model X Plaid. And so I've got the Model X Plaid on the way currently, and it's going to be here allegedly in October of 2022. So at that time, I'll probably trade this guy in or sell it privately to go ahead and get that Model X Plaid. All right, and then moving on to what I don't like about the car. Actually, the car is very, very good. It's, like I said, it's pretty well put together, especially for a Tesla, and I really don't have any complaints about it, except for one, and that is going to be the steering yoke. And I'm gonna have a lot of people that beat me up on that, and I'm gonna have a lot of people that pat me on the back about this, but here's the reality. This is not my only car. I have several other cars that I drive consistently, especially in the wintertime, and those all have a traditional steering wheel. So to swap back and forth between the yoke and the steering wheel, you can certainly do it. I'm used to the yoke at this point. It's not that big of a deal to get used to the yoke, but it's not ideal. I'd rather have a wheel in that thing, just because all the other cars I have are a wheel. And when we're talking about like drifting that car around a parking lot or a track or something like that, it's nice when you're swapping back and forth between cars. It's nice to have a wheel and a wheel. You're just used to it. You're not missing that top stroke, and that's that. Now, the biggest thing I don't like about the yoke is going to be the horn. That's really the biggest problem I have with it. You know, maybe you're sitting at a stoplight and the light's green and it's about to turn yellow, and it's like, I got to let this guy know that he needs to go because I got to go. And so you give it a little, you know, bump, and not to be rude, just like, hey, yo, dude, it's green, let's go. And half the time I can't find the horn because I don't drive the car every day consistently for a daily driver. So kind of irritating. Even harder to find the horn when you actually, like, you're driving in the lane, somebody's merging into your lane, you can't slam on the brakes because there's a car behind you, and you're looking for the horn to tell this guy to not run into your lane. It's extremely difficult to remember where that little horn button is, and even harder to just hit that little, like, you know, half-inch by half-inch button when somebody's about to crash into your $140,000 car. So not really ideal for the horn placement. Honestly, that's the biggest thing I don't like about the yoke in general. I can get used to swapping back and forth between cars. Not really that big of a deal. Even on the track, even drifting it around a parking lot, it's really not that big a deal if you've spent any amount of time with the car. Now, I have about 2,000 miles on this Tesla Model S Plaid, and I've owned it for almost 6 months at this point. And so I'm gonna have a video coming out, I'll link to it whenever I've got it done, the 2,000 mile review of the Tesla Model S Plaid steering yoke, and I'll give you my full opinion on that. But long story short, I don't like the horn. That's the big thing for me personally. And aside from that, if I want to drive like our other Tesla for something else, like I have a different purpose that I'm using it for, and my wife really likes to drive the Teslas, I don't feel comfortable letting her drive this car. It's not because of the 1,000 horsepower. It's because of the steering yoke. It's because of the horn placement. It's because of the blinker placement. I don't want her looking down at the yoke every time she has to borrow the car. Not borrow it, but you know what I mean. Take the car out, and it's not ideal for a husband and wife situation where she doesn't ever drive the Plaid, but then sometimes she might have to. And so it's less than ideal for swapping out with your spouse, especially if this is your primary car and, you know, she's not really driving it that often. So the yoke, not super stoked about for interchangeability of the drivers. And also, it sounds like maybe in 2022, they're going to start having options in the Plaid versions, maybe just the other ones as well, that you can have either a yoke or a steering wheel, which I would take the steering wheel at this point. Okay, now for kind of the personal part, or more importantly, the interpersonal part for me of why I'm getting rid of the Plaid. And, you know, it's not anything financial or anything like that, but it is a matter of being gluttonous. And so I'm trying to decide at what point is it just really gluttonous and stupid for me to own this Plaid. Now, any of you that out there that own a Plaid, this is not a slight against you. Anybody out there that own like a, you know, Ferrari or Lamborghini or anything like that, honestly, I'd like to hear from you in the comment section down below on what you think about this. But I want to be somebody who is as charitable as possible. I want to be somebody who's putting my money to use, not my money, but I want to be a good steward of the money that I do have and that I'm blessed enough to have. And I want to be charitable with it. And I don't want to be gluttonous with it. And I want to make more money with the money that I have. So I don't want to be stupid about it. And so I'm at this weird point in my life where it's like, is it gluttonous for me to own this Tesla Model S Plaid? Now, on one hand, I do utilize it for one of my businesses, for real estate in particular, the high-end luxury real estate in Colorado, which reach out to me, send me an email to Brad@Colorado Real Property if you ever want to do business with me and I can find you a awesome house or sell your house in the state of Colorado. But that's one of my businesses. I'll garner business from owning this car. I get a lot of people that talk to me about it. I'm a part of a couple different car clubs, and so that's awesome for that. It serves a purpose in that regard right there, which is awesome. Then we have YouTube. YouTube is great. People are really interested in the car, and that makes a very tiny amount of money for me, which, you know, that's great, but it's nothing to actually justify owning the car for the amount of money I make on YouTube. That's not it. And then I like the car. I just like it. I'm a car guy. It's the world's fastest production car, and it's just really fun to drive. It's a great daily driver. So that's kind of where I'm at with the car. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, why the heck are you going to get a Model X Plaid? It's the same price. Well, because in the United States, we have something called a Section 179 accelerated or advanced depreciation of a vehicle you can do towards a business. So one of my other businesses, maybe I would do it for real estate, but one of my other businesses, I could do a full depreciation on a car that's over 6,000 pounds. And so for me personally, that would totally be worth it to lessen my tax liability. And I got to have a car, and pretty much the money I'll save on taxes, I got to own that car for maybe 2 or 3 years. And so it makes a lot of sense. Whereas this car, I have limited depreciation that I can do on it. It's not super practical for either of the businesses, and so it's really not ethical to write it off, and I don't get the same kind of tax benefits. So me personally, that's what's going on in my mind. Now, it's really difficult because I'm a car guy. I've got a Corvette C8 Z07 on order that I'm supposed to be picking up maybe this summer if they're ready, and that's an awesome car. But again, I don't know if I can justify owning the car. At what point is it super gluttonous? Again, comment down below and let me know what you think about it. Yes, I am charitable, but how much more charitable could I be? Or is it like, hey, the car makes you money, going to the car meets and getting clients with real estate and stuff like that. So hey, it's great. Hey, you make a little money on YouTube, and it's just a fun outlet for you. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything like that. The cars are my only vices. And so I don't know, I'm not really sure. So comment down below and let me know what you think. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me a like, give me a sub, and we'll see you in the next one.